Morning, folks. When you're stuck and you're trying to find a way through into what to paint next, I've had that many times before, and what I usually do is to go completely different and do an abstract. It's very difficult to break away from a lifetime of representational painting into abstract. And I was very much inspired from a documentary, a BBC documentary on iPlayer yesterday, which I watched after I did the Seago tree painting, on the life of Sean Scully, an Irish-born lad that was brought up in poverty and came to London, southeast London, and was in all sorts of trouble with gangs and the sort of life of Deptford and Penge, and these areas of London, Deptford bordering the Thames, Docklands are badly bombed in the war, and he just had this leaning towards abstraction from an early age. It was all new to me because I took painting much later, but I do the odd abstract. I'll show you one on the phone if I can. Right, I took the photo of it this morning. I did it 2 or 3 years ago now. It's up on my wall. I like it. It's in quite a nice white, nondescript frame. I'll just bring it up and show you. The phone's a bit slow this time of the morning, a bit like me. Okay, there we are. It's all or nothing. Flowers. I can't remember what I called it, but I enjoyed doing it, and a lot of people like this sort of painting. And Sean Scully has a number of what I would call aphorisms, sayings that sum his life of art up. He said about his art, anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. And that means you, and it means me. I tend to think of art in terms, like many of you, in terms of trees and skies and portraits and so on. But this century, or the last century, we broke away from that tyranny, and we learnt through artists like Miro and Picasso, and in Britain with Hodgkin, one of my favourite artists, and they painted abstracts through their lives. They might have started with representational art, as did Picasso, but the interest in that sort of art was changing, and Picasso went the way he did, and a lot of great art followed. Warhol and the great American, can't remember his name for a moment, Jackson Pollock, and many others. And of course, the criticism has always been from the diehards that the chimpanzee could do it. It's rubbish. What is it? The only criteria really is if you like it or you don't like it. A lot of people do like it, and I found that out because I started a conversation on the painting yesterday, and I drifted off into sort of mental abstraction and forgot to finish the sentence. It was this. Years ago, I was in a joint exhibition with the group that I was with for many years at the Fairfield Halls in Croydon. It was a concert venue. It's been refurbished at the moment, and I was with the group, and all the usual stuff you get in an amateur art show. Some reasonable, some not so reasonable. But I did an abstract, the first one I ever did, and I put it in a frame. I had nothing in my mind. I just painted it, enjoyed it. I thought, well, I'm going to take that along and just prop it up. My friend and I were on the desk, the money desk that night, and I drifted off to talk to somebody, as I do, And he came after me a few minutes later. He said, "Here, Dave, that abstract you've got up for 150 quid, 150 pounds." He said, somebody's got it. Somebody's just bought it. I said, no. It was I took it in for a joke, really, to take back that evening when we'd finished the business. So nobody else would see it, but I was quite amazed. It just goes to show there's no accounting for taste. What you don't like, somebody else does. So I did quite a few more, and then we had some exhibitions, a couple of exhibitions at Cotton's Atrium at London Bridge. And all the unsold paintings went into other galleries in Hayes Galleria next door, where the battleship HMS Belfast is moored. Went in there, and went in the first gallery. It closed, but it was City Art, and the lady that was the proprietress of that gallery sold 6 for me straight away from the unsold paintings in the exhibition. And then several years later we had the exhibition again, and all the unsold paintings went into the Sunshine Gallery in Hayes Galleria. That's long gone as well, I might add. But they started to sell again, but I was doing abstracts about 30 inches by 20, whatever. And I was using texture paste, building up a surface underneath and painting over it in acrylic, and then going over with oil and rubbing out with turpentine. And he was getting me £350 per painting. This is 20 years ago, over 20 years ago. And I thought, well, this is good. So people do like it. A lot of people don't. But I'm going to have a go at an abstraction. I've only got the desire to do it. I haven't got anything in my mind of how I want it to go. I might well be influenced mentally by watching Sean Scully. Have a look if you've got access to the BBC iPlayer. I think the documentary went out live over the weekend, but it's on the iPlayer, and he's world famous. He's enormously wealthy because people anyone can do it. But they don't. They don't think it's art. So I'm going to try. I've got my colours. I'm excited about this. I've got a yellow, a red, a blue, a burnt sienna, which I probably won't use, but black, a viridian. Just those basic colours. And I'm just going to make some marks. I'm going to use black to start with. Nice bit of medium, which is PVA glue. So let's just start vertical. Let's put a bit of paint on it. Let's just have a bit of fun with painting. I know my mate Alan Owen to look at this. I need to do one. Sorry about the noise. Wear a pinny for this. I want some overlapping colours in this, I think. But who knows? I'm using dilute PVA glue as a flow medium. It's great stuff. It doesn't get it right. The proportion of water to your PVA. PVA is wood glue, the white stuff. But it's the basis of acrylic painting. Okay. Well, we're off and running now. Go there a bit. My black period, the angry period, and we can work in some other colours to that. Right, clean the brush. Get another brush. Right, okay. So I want a bit of viridian now. Bit of medium. Go into there. Viridian mixes very well with ultramarine too, so you can sort of change the colour. They don't have to take long, or they can take a lifetime. I'll have to put some more viridian out here. It's quite a luminous colour. If you mix it with white as well, you can get quite a good blend. are we going? Nowhere. Anyone can do it. It's my paint, I'll do what I like with it. Some people might think I've gone mad, but symphony of blue, black. I might watch the documentary again, but I've got to cut the grass later. It's the first bit of sunshine we've had for about 5 days. And it's not very warm. But let's put some more Viridian out. These are the Wilco cheapos. But alas, Wilkinsons aren't. They're discontinuing the range. Right. Oh, let's keep going with that Viridian. Let's get a bit of stain in there. You just attack it, just go for it. And as often as not, you'll get some sort of idea of what to add, what to take away, what to put on next. Let's get some white in there. I know Howard Hodgkin would paint his lovely abstracts over a couple of years, but he didn't take 2 years to paint them. He did a bit, then he put it back in the rack, and then he went back to it later. So it was a sort of just happened. But he always managed to give them a title, and they always seem to include friends coming to tea or relationships. It's all in the eye of the beholder. I might go back with some black. Have a black period. Right, just get it more solid. Just let that luminous green. Got my knee exposed under the apron, my apron, and it's right where I dragged the paint. And they're clean jeans, so I don't want to get them covered up. Probably I'll look at it later and think, why did I do that? Why didn't I do a tree in the sky? I haven't thought of any other colours to go in there yet. Something might emerge. Let's connect those up. I was looking through my YouTube comments this morning, and somebody's actually looked on one I did a couple of years ago called what did I call it? It was like a nova, dreaming I think I called it, and I loved doing it. I did it in acrylic. It was quite large. It was 24 by 20, which is quite large for me. Oh, it's a recording. Right, now let's enhance those greens now. Might even drip a bit of red in. Clean the brush. Okay, that's God, I used a lot of medium on this. suppose you could call this abstract expressionism. It doesn't have a meaning other than what a viewer wants to give it. There can be straight edges, there can be diffuse like that. Needs a bit of balance, or not. Right, quite a bit of spaces, but does it need to be anything else? Let's have a bit of red. Splurge. Get some more red out. Cadmium red, that'll do. It's slightly different, the cadmium red to the vermilion. I need some more medium. I've used all that medium up. But I diluted a lump, but mostly it's concentrated PVA glue with some water added. You don't want it too thin. That is a problem. It's quite hard to judge, and various manufacturers. Well, the consistency isn't there, but it's helping the paint to flow quite well. So let's clean that brush. Scully uses huge, thick decorator's brushes for his large work. Well, you need to, don't you? Right, okay, let's get that on there. Right, there we are. Looks a bit of, straighten it up a bit. Drama. More Hodgkin. I've got a couple of Hodgkin books signed. I'm just looking. I've got one down on my bookshelf downstairs. I'm just looking into my bookshelf over there, see if it's there. My son got them signed for me. He's a well-known chef in London. And Howard Hodgkin, when he was alive, would go to the Ivy or Sheiker's, and my son would get him to sign the books. Bit of name shopping, that. Don't have to rub all the textures out. Symphony of red, green and black. I think abstracts are better on a large scale, but I haven't got the room or the affordability for all the paint it would take. Some of Scully's work sells for over £1 million. That's how what he's done, from a boy in the back streets of London or Belfast or Dublin. And he's world famous now. So, you can scumble over this quite quickly because of the speed at which it dries, but I don't want to overdo it. I'm going to let that go. I'll put it in a frame. The frame is totally unsuitable for it, but it's good to stick them in a frame. I have one ready, one I used yesterday. It's just a gilt frame, but totally unsuitable for abstraction. but a painting is a painting. Oh, probably improved it by. Oh, just about fits the frame without tack, so there we are. Never sign abstracts because sometimes they look better upside down. So there we are. We've got a painting. We've also got a bit of a jog. We'll just get rid of that at the top there. Although we don't have to. Right, okay, there we go. An abstract. Now, you might laugh at that and think, well, it's rubbish. But I know for a fact that somebody out there will like it. They will. It'll ignite something in their brain. They won't know what. It's not a copy of anything. It's just an abstract expression of paint. Putting on paint is a natural thing. We've been doing it for hundreds of thousands of years. We've been using soot on cave walls. But it's a nothing. But to someone it'll be a something. Anyone can do it. Even me. So there we are. Who knows whether it's good or whether it's bad? Who's to say? Just slap the paint on. And acrylic is very good for this because it dries quickly, and provided you don't destroy its vibrancy, yeah. Okay, well, I don't know whether I'm pleased with it or not. But I need you to do it, having watched this wonderful documentary. I would highly recommend you to watch it. It's about an hour, and it goes all over the world, all the galleries that he's in, studios that he's got, houses that he owns. But he doesn't care. He's just made it. He's more concerned with painting than what the paintings are worth, but he has made it. He has a wonderful lifestyle. But he's a very ordinary man, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time with him yesterday. So I hope you get something out of that, folks. I'm sure it'll provoke a storm in some people's minds. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.